Today, we're continuing annotating. You've already seen this slide. If you move over in the presentation, you'll see that I've added a checklist for you. None of this is new, so don't be overwhelmed by the text. These are things that I've already gone over with you, but I have this as a tool to help you make sure that you've earned the most points that you can and that you've done the assignment correctly. We've already gone over number 1 and number 2 extensively, so I'm not covering that again. You can go ahead and read it on your own. Number 3, I just want to remind you that as you're reading, you're going to need to triangle and circle new vocabulary that you don't know what the word is or the phrase, and you look it up. So when you do that, triangle or circle, depending on if it's an academic word for you or a challenging word, and make sure you define it in the margin. This is where you earn your points right here. For each paragraph, you're going to underline the claim or main idea and paraphrase it in the margin. I think that in a couple of the paragraphs, it might not be so obvious. You might not be able to specifically point to a sentence. However, the point that the author is making is inferred. So underline what you can and then write your paraphrase that includes the inference in the side margin. For each paragraph, you have to bracket the evidence that's offered to support the idea. So every single paragraph will have stuff underlined and it will have brackets. Make sure that you do the corresponding task, which would be in the margin, to write the sentence explaining how this evidence supports the claim the author is making. In terms of the question marks and the asterisks, you don't have to do those for each and every paragraph. However, be aware of questions that you're thinking as you read or interactions that you're having with the text. So throughout, you should have at least 4 entries per page in terms of question marks or asterisks. Because as you read, you should be thinking who, what, why, when, where, how. And whenever you read text and you have that question pop in your head, that's when you put the question mark by that text, and in the side margin, right next to it, you put your question. Same thing with the asterisks. As you're reading, if something surprises you, it's revealing to you, adds a new insight, or somehow you have a personal connection, it makes you think of something that you've experienced, then you put the asterisk near that text that prompted that, and then in the side margin, you say exactly what was revealing or what seemed surprising to you or your personal connection. Or maybe you just feel like you need to summarize at some point. Go for it. That's what the asterisk is for. And again, none of this is new. This is all on your annotation card. I just wanted to go over it with you again. So once you have that done, then you can move on to this next slide. So on the back side of the hidden intellectualism document, your essay that you've annotated, you're going to answer the following question in a well-developed paragraph. So it is not an essay, it's a paragraph. Do not be overwhelmed by the text that you see on this page. All the bullets with the little arrows, those are like help questions to help you through the actual question itself, okay? So the question that you're going to be answering is author Gerald Graff successful in persuading you to agree with him? Why or why not? How so or not so? So, in order to go through this, ask yourself, what is this guy's claim? Like, what's his overall thing he's trying to get across to you? And then, do you agree or disagree? As you were reading, maybe you aren't sold on what he's trying to get you to buy. Maybe you disagree, and as you were reading, you were thinking, well, what about this? What about that? So the first thing you're going to do is explain his claim. You're going to state his claim. Then you're going to look at all the evidence that you've bracketed, and you decide what you think is the best. Don't think to yourself, what if I select the wrong one and it's not the best? One student's best evidence may not be someone else's best evidence. It all has to do with how you justify and explain how that evidence serves to support or not support his claim. And that's what you do here in the last part of your paragraph. How does this evidence support his argument? Or if you don't agree with him, is the evidence offered faulty? Is there a problem with it? Is it weak? Did you think about examples when you were reading where things just didn't add up for you and you thought, well, this doesn't make sense because what if this or what if that? So it's completely okay to disagree with him. Go for it. I just want to remind you today as you're working, it's the same as yesterday. You need to show your good character and citizenship. You need to work on your assignment silently. Stay focused. You guys have a lot to do. If you have a question to ask your peer, keep it short and to the point. No one else should hear you but your peer. And I'd like to remind you that the end of this grading period for the 5 weeks is on Friday. I'm allowing you to turn in any late assignment for full credit by Friday. If you have a 0, though, in Aries, you can't fix it. There's only one assignment, and that would be the letter to Mrs. French. So my advice to you is get in there. If it's red, get it done. Follow the instructions on my home page underneath the pictures on my homepage with the cats and the books. I have the slide that walks you through simply how to turn in an assignment. It's pretty easy, and how to figure out where to find the assignment. If you have any questions, you can email me. Have a great day.